Okay, for this lesson, please make sure you've got a pen and paper ready to work with. You will also need a calculator. There will be notes I ask you to take. Okay, if you need to listen again, remember it's a video and you can stop and rewind it and repeat parts if you need to. I will ask you to pause and either copy things down or complete an activity, and please make sure you do the activity because real learning comes from actually having a go. Right, starter activity. You need to pause the video here and have a go at these 4 questions and press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, answers for these then. We've got 26 centimetres for the perimeter. Remember, perimeter is the distance all the way around the edge. So we need to add all of those up. This was a missing one here. We had to get 8 centimetres from by adding the 2 and the 6. We've got area of trapezium. So you're not given the formula for area of a trapezium when you do an exam. You need to learn that. Remember, it's the 2 parallel sides added together. So we do 4 add 6 to get 10. We times that by the perpendicular height, which is 5. So 10 times 5 to get 50 centimetres squared. And we divide it by 2, which is 25 centimetres squared as your answer. For this one, when we do 40% of 200, we get £80. Remember, you could do 200 times 0.4. And when we do 25% of 520, that's a quarter, so £130, which means Bob saved the most. Okay, really important, these 2 first ones here, when we're looking at parts of a circle. So if you have a line that goes all the way through the middle of a circle and touches one side and the other side goes through the middle, it's called a diameter. If you have a line that goes from the middle to the edge, then that's a radius. So the diameter and the radius of a relationship between each other, the diameter is double your radius. Okay, and the all the way around the edge of a circle is called the circumference. We're doing a lesson on circles today, and we're going to do areas of circles. So if you could write yourself a title as area of circles, please. Right, circles are really important because there's lots of places in real life situations where circles come about. Okay, obviously car manufacturers and designers would take circles really important. Okay, so main fact from today that you need to commit to memory the formula for area of a circle. So the formula for the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. If you can make a note of that, please. 2 examples then to go through. So this first example, we have a radius because it goes from the middle to the edge. So if we look at our formula, we have everything we need because we just need pi times the radius squared. So you can substitute your 12 straight into the formula and do pi times 12 squared. Okay, if you were to ask to do this and leave it in terms of pi, you would just do the 12 squared and get 144 pi. So sometimes if it comes up on a non-calculator paper, you would leave it in terms of pi and leave it as 144 pi. However, if you're asked to do it to a decimal place, then you would either just press S to D on a scientific calculator, or you may already have a calculator that already gives you the answer, 452.4 centimetres squared. Right, if we look at this second example, you can see the difference is that this one we have a radius and this one we have a diameter. So we need to modify our formula because we have a diameter and we need a radius, so we need to change this. So the relationship, remember, between the diameter and the radius is that we can get the radius by dividing our diameter by 2. So if we know our our diameter is 3 centimetres, we can get our radius by dividing it by 2 and getting 1.5 centimetres. So then we do pi times 1.5 squared to get 2.25 pi, or 7.1 centimetres squared to 1 decimal place. Can you get both of these examples down, please? Press pause to copy them and then press play when you're ready to have a go at some questions. Okay, here are 2 questions I'd like you to have a go at. Can you press pause now and then press play when you're ready to check your answers? Right, answers for these 2 questions. First one, we would do pi times 9 squared because this is a radius, and you'd either have 81 pi or 254.5 centimetres squared to 1 decimal place. This one, we have a diameter, so we need to half that to get our radius of 4 centimetres. So pi times 4 centimetres squared would either be 16 pi or 50.3 centimetres squared. Here's some questions I'd like you to do, please. If you could pause it here, have a go at these questions and press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, here are the answers for those questions. Moving on to this next objective then, we can calculate the area of simple sectors. So first question we have a semicircle, so half a circle. If you imagine this was a full circle and went all the way down here, you can see that 8 centimetre is actually a diameter. It would go straight through the middle of our full circle. So if we have a diameter, remember we need to work out a radius. So if our diameter is 8 centimetres, our radius would be 4 centimetres. So we'd do the area by pi times 4 squared. That would give us the area of the full circle of 16 pi centimetres squared. However, because we want a semicircle and that's half a circle, we need to half our answer or divide it by 2. So the area of our semicircle would be either 8 pi centimetres squared if we're left in terms of pi, or 25.1 centimetres squared if we're changing that to 1 decimal place. This next one then, we actually have a quarter of a circle. So if we imagine this being a full circle that went all the way around, okay, we could see that 7 centimetre is a radius. It'd go from the middle to the edge. So we have a radius, which means we can put our 7 straight in. So the area of the full circle would be pi times 7 squared, which would give us 49 pi centimetres squared. Because we only want a quarter of a circle, so just this part here, and a quarter is when we split a shape into 4, we would need to divide our area by 4 to get 12.25 pi centimetres squared, or 38.5 centimetres squared to 1 decimal place. Can you get both of these examples down, please? Can you pause it while you copy it and then press play when you're ready to have a go at some questions? Okay, here's 4 questions I'd like you to do, please. You've got 2 semicircles, a quarter of a circle, and this one is 3/4. So I didn't go through how to do this. However, you should be able to think about your previous questions and use that to help you with this one. So if you could pause it and have a go at these and press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, answers for these 4 questions are here. So this one, we should be doing pi times 5 centimetres squared first of all, because 10 is a diameter, so our radius is 5. And then to get our semicircle, we have to divide that answer by 2 to get 39.3 centimetres squared. If you've still got something like 78, then you forgot to divide by 2. This one, we have a radius of 10, so pi times 10 squared to get the full circle, and then the full circle divided by 4 to get the answer of 78.5 centimetres squared. This green one down here, so we've got a diameter of 7, so the radius would be 3.5, so we're going to do pi times 3.5 squared to get the full circle, and then divide that by 2 to get 19.2 centimetres squared. And this last one, so we have 3/4. We'll start off with a full circle, which would be pi times 10 squared, and then because we need to do 3/4, we can divide it by 4 to get 1/4, and times the answer by 3 to get 3/4. And you should end up with 235.6 centimetres squared. However, you will have spotted that if this is 1/4, if you times the answer by 3, you would have had 3/4. Okay, moving on to the secure objective now. Can calculate the area of compound shapes made with circles. So this compound shape is made of a rectangle and a semicircle. How we tackle finding the total area is to split them up in their 2 parts and then add the areas together. So first of all, we've got the area of the rectangle, which is base times height. So we've got 6 times by 5 to get 30 centimetres squared. We need to do the semicircle now. So this length here is the same as this length here, so they're both 5 centimetres. So if it goes from one side of the circle to the other, it's a diameter. So if we've got the diameter of 5 centimetres, the radius is half of that, 2.5 centimetres. So we can work out the area of a whole circle by doing pi times 2.5 squared, which would be 6.25 pi centimetres squared. However, we only want a semicircle, so we still need to half that answer to get 9.8 centimetres squared. And then you've got to add your two answers together. So we've got our area of a rectangle for 30 centimetres squared and our area of our semicircle of 9.8 centimetres squared. So our total area would be 39.8 centimetres squared. Can you please get this example copied down? So pause the video here, copy it down, and then press play when you're ready to have a go at some questions. Here are two questions I'd like you to have a go at, please. Can you pause it here and have a go at them? Press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, let's see how we got on with that. So the first one, we should have done the area of the rectangle for 30 centimetres squared, and the quarter circle is pi times 5 squared and then divided by 4 and add your two answers together. This one over here, we've got a triangle, so that's height times base divided by 2. So the area of the triangle is 24 centimetres squared, and then we need to half the 10 because that's a diameter. So this is pi times 5 squared and then divided by 2 and add your two answers together. Right, moving on to the very last objective, can calculate the area of the shaded sections. So this question is asking for the shaded section around the edge. So it's a photo frame, circular photo frame. It wants the area of just the frame. So first of all, if we can look at the inner circle, which is the white one. So the inner circle has a radius of 12 centimetres. So we do pi times 12 squared, which gives us 452.4 centimetres squared. Then we need to work out the radius of the outer circle. So if this is 4 centimetre thick the whole way around, it would be 4 centimetre thick here. So the radius of the outer circle is 12 add 4, so 16 centimetres. So we could work out the area of the whole circle if it was all filled in. So that would be pi times 16 squared to get 804.2 centimetres squared. So if we only want this ring that goes around the edge, if we imagine cutting out that inner circle, we could do a subtraction. So if we do the full circle, take away the inner circle, we're left with just that ring around the edge. So 804.2 centimetres squared, take away 452.4 centimetres squared would leave you that ring of 351.8 centimetres squared. Can you copy that down, please, and then press play when you're ready to check, have a go at some questions. Okay, here are 3 questions I'd like you to have a go at. Can you pause it and have a go at them, and then press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, answers are here. So the first one, we would do the whole rectangle. So the diameter would be the same as the lengths of your square. So we've got 64, so 8 times 8 to get the square, and then subtract pi times 8 squared to get the circle, and when you subtract them you're left with 54.9 centimetres squared. Okay, and this one here, we've got the same as before, so your inner circle, pi times 9 squared, outer circle, pi times 11 squared, and then your inner one is taken away from your outer one. This one then, same sort of thing, so if you're given diameters, so if we know the diameter of the inner one is 5 centimetres, the radius would be 2.5. If we know the diameter of the outer one is 8, then the radius would be 4. So do your smaller one and your larger one, and then do your larger answer, subtract your smaller one. Okay. Right, that's the end of the lesson. Can you highlight your title or just write PGYR next to your title, please, so I know how you've got on with those. Can you please email proof of your work to your teacher, please? Thank you very much.